from Pinnacle People Solutions, stepping in for Bron Pearson this morning, and welcome to our weekly Facebook Live update. Pinnacle People Solutions provides human resources services and solutions to regionally based small to medium enterprises and not-for-profits, and we are here to help you and your business not only go through these challenging COVID-19 times, but all the time. Please ask any questions you have as we go along, and we will do our best to answer. Outside of this, you can contact the team anytime via Facebook, email, telephone, LinkedIn, whatever suits you. The details will all be in the comments shortly. There's been a bit of news this week. New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian has now opted into the federal government's Pandemic Leave Disaster Payment Scheme, which will pay New South Wales workers who don't have access to sick leave, such as casuals and contractors, $1,500 for 14 days when they're required to self-isolate. This is going to be something that's really good for New South Wales workers, particularly those who don't have access to sick leave. In less good news, New South Wales regulatory authorities have fined 23 restaurants, hotels and clubs over the last few days over COVID-19 breaches. While overall compliance rates with the rules are over 95%, if you run a hospitality business, please make sure that you are complying with the requirements, as the fines can be very expensive. You can check that you meet the rules at the Safe Work New South Wales website, and the link will be in the comments shortly. Some news that is both good and bad. The monthly jobs figures came out last Thursday, and to everyone's surprise, unemployment actually fell. However, it looks like this increase in employment is not actually employers increasing their numbers in traditional ways of increasing employment, but rather people starting their own businesses or working as independent contractors. So I'm sure you can imagine that there's been an enormous rise in the number of delivery drivers required in Melbourne, for example. It's not all bad, but as the number of hours worked only went up 0.1% during the month, but the number of employed people increased by 111,000, it seems like these new workers aren't working very many hours. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next month and how that compares. JobKeeper 2.0, are you ready? There's only one more week until JobKeeper transitions into JobKeeper 2.0. Do you have your business organised and prepared for this change? Is the structure of your workplace what you need right now or for the next stage? Are you prepared for the transition away from JobKeeper or to the stage 2 of JobKeeper? Do you have enabling directions in place that you won't have access to after next Monday? We have a fact sheet on our website with everything you need to know from a staff management perspective. The link will be in the comments shortly. Remember, the ATO is keeping a close eye on eligibility and compliance, and while they haven't issued any fines yet, there are a number of businesses under investigation and some that have been asked to repay the JobKeeper funds made available to them so far. So please make sure you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's in relation to compliance with JobKeeper. It has been a really good program that has kept a lot of businesses afloat and a lot of workers employed. It's really important that we all keep doing the right thing so that hopefully the program can continue for as long as possible to help as many people as possible. One thing that's coming out in the news at the moment is how vital it is for companies to not only talk the talk regarding diversity, protection from sexual harassment and improving the representation of women in the workplace, but also that they make real efforts to put this into action. JB Hi-Fi was in the news this week with female staff reporting regular sexual harassment and assault from customers and a boys' club work environment that does little to support them. The numbers back up their claims of a boys' club. Women make up 41% of their workforce, but only 30% of managers, which is below the industry average. The company spokesperson didn't respond directly to questions about whether there was staff training on dealing with harassment from customers, but did advise that there are processes in place for any staff to raise their concerns. That would sound like somewhat of an omission to us. Is this something that could be affecting your business? Are you looking at how your business functions with a critical eye and ensuring that your staff have the proper training as well as access to avenues for complaint to deal with it? If you don't, what are you going to do about it? It's really essential to have training and processes and procedures in place ahead of a disaster. And so many of the issues that we help our clients with could have been headed off at the pass with those things in place to start with, rather than having to put them together after the fact. And today's going to be a short one, but we all need a bright side. Late last week, the Ig Nobel Prizes for 2020 were handed out. There were some crackers this year. There were studies on the usefulness of knives made from frozen human excrement, a survey of kissing habits across 13 countries, whether alligator noises are susceptible to helium, and how to identify narcissists by their eyebrows. For the full list of winners, we'll put up a link up in the comments, and you can also watch the entire ceremony from there. I believe the winners win a $1 trillion Zimbabwean note, which is entirely worthless, but it's a great opportunity to celebrate science for science's sake. Last week, our webinar tackled the topic of workplace change and how to do it properly. If you're thinking about whether your business has the right strategy, staff, and infrastructure moving into the future, particularly in light of the changes to JobKeeper, it's essential to make sure you do it lawfully to protect yourself and your business from expensive mistakes. You can catch up on the webinar online or review the fact sheet, which will be linked in the comments shortly. If you have any questions on how to implement workplace change well for your business, we're more than happy to help. But there are ways to do it that aren't very tedious. Some people look at the requirements under the various legislation awards and say, well, this is all too hard. The government is making it too hard for me to change my business. It's really not. It's just a set of steps to go through to ensure that all of the boxes are ticked and that everything is being done in the most lawful and sensitive way possible. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you have specific questions about your business, any of the news stories I've mentioned, or want us to help you out, you can contact us anytime. In our webinar this Wednesday, Bron will be chatting with the Vice Chairperson of the Tamworth Business Chamber about why regional business should join and participate in their local Chamber of Commerce or Business Chamber. It has certainly been an asset to Pinnacle People Solutions to be members of both the Armidale and Tamworth Business Chambers, and we're keen to share with you what these benefits and opportunities are. So tune in next Wednesday at 5:30. Also coming up in October, it's New South Wales Small Business Month, and we're really excited to celebrate what's great about running a small business in the regions. If you'd like a shout out on our social media, please get in touch. We'll also be running a Back to Basics webinar series to brush up on those HR fundamentals. For details of what, when, where and how, subscribe to our newsletter, and also keep an eye on our website and Facebook. In the meantime, please hug the people you can and wave cheerily at those you can't. Stay safe, stay socially distant. If you can't, wear a mask. Wash your hands really well, and we'll see you on Monday. Thank you.